Mr. President, the government of Jamaica is happy that SDG 6 is now being given the attention that it so desperately needs. Human health and dignity are the foundations of every society and require access to clean drinking water and sanitation. Indeed, without this access, our collective ability to achieve the 2030 agenda is undermined. I take this opportunity to highlight in my capacity as co-chair of the group of friends of children and the SDGs the direct impact of the water, sanitation and hygiene crisis on children's rights, lives and well-being. Access to safe drinking water and sanitation is not a privilege, but a basic human right enshrined in the Convention on the Rights of the Child. As governments, it is our duty to uphold this right. 69 members of the group of Friends of Children and the SDGs therefore call on member states to use the occasion of the UN Water Conference to act now to achieve SDG 6 and ensure a better future for every child. In the furtherance of our advocacy in this regard, the complete statement of the group of friends will be issued to the UN membership. The government of Jamaica's vision for the management of the island's water resources is guided by Vision 2030 Jamaica, our national development plan. We are further guided by the National Water Sector Policy and Implementation Plan of 2019. The policy aims to ensure that the country's water resources are managed in a sustainable and integrated manner to facilitate the population having universal access to potable water and adequate sanitation by 2030. Additionally, the goal of the policy is to ensure that Jamaica's water resources are effectively managed to provide for our nation's social, economic, and environmental well-being now and in the future. The policy outlines in detail the measures that are being implemented by the GOJ to manage and protect the island's water resources and to ensure universal access to potable water and adequate sanitation by 2030. Mr. President, the latest IPCC report should function as a sobering reminder for our commitments. The water crisis is exacerbated by the climate crisis. Jamaica is calling on all developing countries to honor their commitments made under the Paris Agreement and subsequently. But colleagues, even if honored, there is an urgent need for significant increases in funding for adaptation. It is Jamaica's belief that much of this should be directed towards water resilience. We have repeatedly called for the process of accessing finance to be simplified and harmonized across funding agencies. The climate crisis, which is driving the water crisis, will not abate because we want it to. It will abate because we make the tough political decisions and appropriate investments in adaptation and water resilience. Jamaica has been moving to aggressively mainstream its climate action and has now completed its new climate change and emissions policies. Jamaica's surface water sources, which are responsible for more than 70% of the potable water in the island, are impacted by climate change. The change in rainfall levels and patterns have resulted in longer dry periods, increased drought conditions, resulting in lower water availability. Changes in weather patterns have also resulted in less rain to supply watershed and reservoirs. The impact of climate change on water availability and water quality affect all sectors. The watersheds are important features for supplying drinking water and replenishing streams, as well as for supplying areas for agriculture and indeed natural forests. Jamaica has taken steps to protect its watersheds and through increasing its protected areas while pursuing significant restoration efforts through its 3 million trees in 3 years initiative. In excess of 2.5 million trees have already been planted. Jamaica is also nearing completion on a new watersheds policy. Mr. Resource management approach to managing land, watersheds and water resources through the establishment of a management council. It is a multidisciplinary and multi-sectoral body led by the ministry with responsibility for water that facilitates consultation and discussions among key stakeholders in the water and water-related sectors to expedite and support decision-making for the management of the island's water and water-related resources. The focus of this council has included adherence to water quality standards by service providers, improvements in water supply infrastructure, and the use of GIS technology in the water sector. Mr. President, Like all developing countries, chronic underinvestment in the water infrastructure for almost 50 years has made the goal of SDG 6 challenging. However, Jamaica has significantly increased its investment since 2016 to reduce distribution losses, increase storage, and increase processing and production capacity. Several critical infrastructure projects are being undertaken by the country's main utility provider, the National Water Commission, which upon completion will improve water supply services across the island and increase the country's resilience to climate change. The NWC is replacing aged transmission lines and infrastructure across several service areas in the country, which will improve delivery of water supply, making SDG 6 a reality. Additionally, the implementation of our non-revenue water program is expected to improve service delivery to all customers, enhance operational efficiency, and improve water distribution and facilitate huge energy and water savings. This process is further strengthened with the use of Jamaica's systemic risk assessment tool, which assesses climate risk to all infrastructure, including water. This tool was developed by the CCRI and the University of Oxford with funding from the GCF. Mr. President, we must address the elephant in the room. This is energy efficiency in the water sector. The high cost of energy has significantly impacted Jamaica's ability to distribute water to all. Despite this challenge, Jamaica has taken steps to reduce its energy consumption in the distribution process with updated equipment and greater use of gravity-fed systems. We are moving to integrate the use of renewable energy sources in all water production. One such example is Jamaica's push to install a floating photovoltaic renewable energy plant at the Mona Reservoir. This project will involve the installation of a 45 megawatt peak direct current floating photovoltaic renewable energy plant. Mr. President, our farmers are the providers of sustenance to our nation and indeed the globe. Recognizing their significant contribution to growth and nation building,